Alexandra Sirota is with the North Carolina Budget and Tax Center, and a part of your job is to watch state budgets, which you do quite closely. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, $22.225 billion is a lot of money. What do you make of this budget overall?
Well, it is a lot of money, and if it's invested in the right ways, it can create tremendous opportunity in North Carolina. But it's far short of what is actually needed in communities, because our budget writers have really looked to this rigid formula to dictate that number, rather than think about what communities and families need in our state. So,
what is needed out there? You say it's falling short. Sure. Where are we short?
So we're short in a bunch of different areas. The classroom, most specifically, we see that playing out in the ability of kids to have access to instructional supplies, be able to take their textbook home at night, having the teachers in front of the classroom and the class size is manageable, making sure that kids have the coaches to get to reading at the third grade level, something we know is really critical. But it's in other areas too. We know seniors are on waiting lists to get meals delivered to their home. We know that young children, the youngest children, are on waiting lists to get access to quality childcare, to early pre-K to get them ready for kindergarten. So in a number of ways, we're falling short, and that means that in communities across the state, folks continue to struggle and look for ways to make ends meet and make their economies work better.
What's a realistic expectation of a state budget? It can't do everything, and that's what analysts do. If they're on which side of it, it's like it does too much, doesn't do enough.
Right.
What's realistic? If you're just sitting out there watching TV right now, I got $22 billion coming, so what happens?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to say that there's some set target number. Again, what we know is that this budget spends far below our historic investments as a share of the economy. Our economy is growing. Our investments need to keep up with that growth in the economy. So I think what we know matters is thinking about the number in relation to what communities need. And when we see gaps, when we see opportunities that we're not taking advantage of as a state, the ability to really focus on rural economic development and make sure Main Streets have what they need to grow local businesses, those sorts of things going unmet means that we're missing opportunities.
So we're at $22.225 billion in this budget heading into next year. Where should it be from your analytical perspective? What's a good budget amount for the size of the state, for the pace that it's growing as we sit here this week and talk about economic growth?
Sure. Well, you know, historically the average is 6% of state personal income. That's what traditionally the state has spent as a share of the economy. We're down about 4%, so we have some room there to get back to historic averages. But again, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what the future is going to need. And so thinking about not just looking backwards what we need, but looking forward what we need is important. So I would say that we can make investments at a higher level. We are artificially constrained by the tax cuts that have passed over the years, and that's making it harder for policymakers to really meet needs.
The latest tax cut was the income tax standard deduction, the 0% tax bracket as has been branded by Republicans. So if you go to work, you earn $17,500, you don't pay state income tax. Is that something progressive analysts like, or is that not worth the trade-off in lost services the state could provide with that revenue?
I mean, it's not worth the trade-off because it's not well targeted. So what happens with a standard deduction is that more than 70% of North Carolinians take the standard deduction. So that means you're delivering a tax cut to a huge group of North Carolinians and not effectively addressing the fact that many of those same North Carolinians are paying more in sales tax because it's only based on your income tax. It really doesn't address the fact that North Carolina's policymakers are raising the sales tax by broadening the base of services.
But people like that $100 average, $110 average in their pocket next tax year. It feels good to put a Ben Franklin in your wallet.
Well, and it remains to be seen whether they'll actually feel that $100 in their pocket. Again, we are seeing some expansion of the base of the sales tax in this budget. That means that more services will be subject to the sales tax. So on net, you know, the impact for North Carolinians, particularly those earning less than $80,000 a year, is going to be minimal, and some will, in fact, see a tax increase.
What is your opinion of the economy right now in North Carolina from your perspective?
Well, we're certainly in a national economic recovery. North Carolina's seen the benefits of job growth. they are uneven and inefficient or insufficient at this point. Certainly not keeping up with our growing population and making sure that everybody who wants to work can find a job. We just looked at the local data that came out this week, and the reality is that many counties still have too few jobs for those who want to work. So we see some real challenges there, and that means that for most North Carolinians, their wages continue to not recover. We see wage growth on average happening, but not happening at the level to make up for the losses that have been experienced since the Great Recession. So people have less money coming in despite working hard hours.
Alexandra Sirota, thank you so much for being on, discussing the budget. I know you've watched it. I get your emails. North Carolina Budget and Tax Center. Look her up. It's has some interesting perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you.